Shalom, shalom. Let's get right into the lesson here. Wait a second. Discern the signs of the time. We're just going to go right into articles and scriptures and just get right into it. You know, this is our duty. Is to watch, the time they be coming to. So, let's get right into the articles and watch a couple articles. We're just going to get the scriptures then. Move along. Watch a little bit of this. Don't get that. I know I played some of this from one.
Korea is preparing for a new provocative nuclear weapons test and missile launch, and could time them to coincide with Joe Biden's visit to South Korea. The South Korean rep stated that we were told that there are signs of missile launch even though the country is in the midst of a pandemic. And with regard to a nuclear test, all preparations have been completed and they're gouging the time. South Korea's presidential national security officer concurred that North Korea's launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile appears imminent. It goes on even further to report that U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan stated this week that the White House is prepared for North Korean provocations during Joe Biden's visit to South Korea and Japan this week. He said that our intelligence does reflect the genuine possibility that there will be either a further missile test, including long-range missile test or nuclear test, or frankly, even both, during the president's trip to the region. If North Korea conducts a long-range missile or nuclear test during Biden's visit, it clearly marks a deliberate provocation aimed at extorting concessions from Washington. So it would not surprise me not one bit if North Korea followed through with a nuclear test as Biden is in Asia. But we'll wait to see what happens. However, let's move along and talk about Russia. It is being reported that Russia's defense ministry stated on Friday that it will beef up its military presence along its western borders by creating 12 new units in the Western Military District by the end of 2022. Russia's defense minister said that the move was a direct response to Western military activities in the area that Moscow perceives as a threat. He said that we are taking adequate countermeasures. Under these conditions, we are actively improving the combat composition of the troops. By the end of the year, 12 military units and subunits will be formed in the Western Military District. The Army general claimed that U.S. strategic aviation in Europe has increased 15-fold in recent months, along with increased American naval visits to the Baltic Sea. And the announcement by the Russian general comes just days after Finland, which shares a border with Russia and Sweden, formalized their bids to join NATO's military alliance. In addition, Russia threatened to deploy hypersonic and nuclear warheads to its western borders last month, in an attempt to dissuade the two nations from joining the 30-nation alliance. Now, with that being said, a guest on Russian state television has said that the war in Ukraine could simply just be a stepping stone to bigger conflict. Alexia Fonenko, a research fellow at Moscow's Institute of International Security Studies, was weighing in on Russia on how the invasion of Ukraine could provide a testing ground for Moscow to wage even bigger wars. He said that for us, the war in Ukraine is a rehearsal for a possible bigger conflict in the future. We'll test and compare NATO weapons with our own. We'll find out on the battlefield how much stronger our weapons are than theirs. This may be a learning experience for our future conflicts. It goes on even further to report that it was also discussed how the war would spread beyond just Ukraine, raising the idea of an inevitable war against Europe and the world. The channel's pro-Kremlin and anti-NATO rhetoric has also included discussions about missile strikes on Western capitals for the support of Ukraine's forces. In the meantime, Belarus's prime minister stated on Friday that Belarus is not going to be a part of the Ukrainian conflict. He said that Belarus is not a party to the conflict, although the collective West is trying in every possible way to label us as either an aggressor or a co-aggressor. You have to somewhat justify the pressure on the country. But Belarus is not a party to the conflict and does not intend to participate militarily in its solution. The Prime Minister also added that Belarus is taking measures to defend its sovereignty amid deliveries of weapons to Ukraine and NATO activity near their borders. It has also been reported that the Turkish President Erdogan has announced plans to hold a phone conversation with the Finnish side over their bid to join NATO on Saturday. Erdogan told reporters that today I had talks with the Prime Minister of the Netherlands. Tomorrow, there will be negotiations with the UK and Finland. The leader added that Turkey will continue telephone diplomacy with NATO members, but the position on the membership of Sweden and Finland is clear. Now, with that being said, the Times of Israel is reporting that Russia's deputy foreign minister stated on Thursday that Moscow is disappointed by recent anti-Russian statements by Israeli officials. The foreign minister stated that, of course, we were a little disappointed in such anti-Russian statements by a number of responsible persons in Israel, because this does not correspond to the nature of the traditionally friendly relations that we have been building for 30 years, since the late 1980s. He also added that he expects Israel to make a more balanced and objective position. It goes on finally to report that ties between Moscow and Jerusalem have been under particular stress in recent weeks. Israel has tried to walk a fine line between Russia and Ukraine, but has recently become more critical of Russia as evidence emerged of growing anti-Semitic rhetoric from Russian leaders. On Friday night last week, Israeli jets targeted northwest Syria, and Russian forces reportedly opened fire with advanced S-300 anti-aircraft missiles. Days later, Israel sent Ukraine helmets and flak jackets that the defense ministry said will be given to rescue forces and civilian organizations. So certainly some very interesting news there between Russia and Israel. And again, something to keep our eyes on due to the prophetic events that will unfold in the prophecy in Ezekiel. And since we're on the subject of Israel, the Jerusalem Post is reporting that amid concern Iran is close to a nuclear weapon, chariots of fire drill will simulate war on 6 different fronts. The drill is unique and unprecedented in scope and will enable the Army to maintain a high level of readiness in an ever-changing region, according to the IDF. It aims to improve the military's capabilities in an intense multi-front and prolonged war on all of its borders. And many are stating that this is the largest drill that Israel will have ever. So they definitely are preparing for a future conflict that will inevitably happen. But certainly a lot of headlines this week. And so I just wanted to bring you guys a quick update today. Please do leave your comment.
So yeah, so you see the times that we are coming into, man. Our people don't have no idea what's going on. Through out here, destroyed for lack of knowledge. Let's go to Ezekiel 33, verse 1. Ezekiel 33, verse 1. It says the watchman duty. Again the word of the Lord came to me and said, hold on, read again. Ezekiel 33, verse 1. Again the word of the Lord came unto me and say, Son of man, speak to thy children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of thy coast of thy land take a man of thy coast, and set him for a watchman. Verse 3, if when he see the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, right? Warn the people, man. Verse 4, then whosoever hear the sound of the trumpet, take not warning. If the sword come and take him away, his blood should be upon him, his own head. Verse 5, and he hear the sound of the trumpet, but take not warning, his blood should be upon him, but he that take warning should deliver his soul. Right, he that take warning should deliver his soul. Verse 6, but the watchman see the sword come upon, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned. If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away his iniquity, but his blood would I require at thy watchman hand. Right, verse 6. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth, and warn them from me. Right, warn them from me. Verse 8. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou not speak to warn the wicked from his ways, that wicked man shall die of iniquity, but his blood would I require at thy hand. Right, Ezekiel 33, verse 5. We get again. He heard the sound of the trumpet and take not warning. His blood should be upon him. But he that take warning should deliver his soul. Right. So he that take warning should deliver his soul. Let's go to Matthew 16. Verse 3, let's go right into Matthew 16, verse 3. In the morning it will be fall weather today, for the sky is red. Glory, oh, you hypocrite. You can't discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern the signs of the time, right? Discern the signs of the time, man. Discern the signs of the time, man. Verse 4, and the wicked and the adulterous generation seeking after the sign. There should no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah, and he left them and depart. Right. So right, man. Matthew 16, verse 3. In the morning it will be far weather today, for the sky is red. Oh Lori, oh you hypocrite. You can't discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern the signs of the time? Right, the signs of the time. Let's go into some more articles. And they say, get ready for lights out. Have America new facing power. Right. And a lot of people don't have no idea, man, when these times come, man. Let me get it again. It said, get ready for lights out. Half America new now facing power. Yeah.
Look at that. Every Saturday morning, out here in the sun with the rest of us commoners.
It's Dabu 7. A heads up as we're getting warnings now to prepare for rolling blackouts or just flat out blackouts, period.
Yeah, it said, get ready for lights out. Half of America now facing power blackout this summer. Man, it said this summer, man. Let's put it back. That's okay.
This is Dabu 7. A heads up as we're getting warnings now to prepare for rolling blackouts or just flat out blackouts, period, throughout the summer. And this goes for everyone coast to coast here in the United States. And when we look at these warnings, NERC is saying that the power supplies in the western U.S. could be strained because of the historic drought, which we've talked about. That reduces the hydroelectric power that is generated for those areas. Then you have the weather, the super hot temps. We have no cloud seeding happening down in the west at all. Not a word of it, no one's speaking of it. They're not even trying or attempting to even bring any rain to these regions. They're doing the exact opposite. They're drying it out. You combine that with them trying to kick up this new green energy plan that seems to not have any backing or any support in it whatsoever. They can't get the solar going, can't get the wind going, or the batteries, any of this stuff together. And it's what they're calling the perfect storm. Imagine that, a perfect storm, huh? Things don't just happen like this. They're engineered this way, just like the scam we've been living through this whole time. But when we take a look here at North America, you can see that it's broke down into several different regions. And depending on where you live, your power is coming from one of these regions. You can see the Quebec region, you can see the Alaska connection, you can see the Western connection, you can see Texas sitting there by itself, and then the Eastern Bloc, which encompasses more territory than any of them. They're putting out big warnings for the West and saying these things, but the reality is the grid all in all is coming down. And now they're talking about vast swaths of the U.S. this entire summer going through blackouts, stressing the electrical grid while they're sending billions to Ukraine, doing nothing here. And it just blows my mind. Can't find a grassroots protest for the life of us here in this country that's not backed by the government like BLM or some crazy crap. People standing up for the rights. That's what we're waiting to see. And hopefully that starts to materialize sooner than later here, as the people need to take the power back. And the power is in the people, in the politics that you address. The power is in your numbers. And it's time to flex. Join me for the live streams where I break this down further. You'll find links below. Hit that bell notification for more. Much love.
Yeah, let me see. People's what I know right there. Let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 7. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 2. Also, thou son of man, thou said the Lord, power unto the land of Israel. The end is coming upon the four corners of the land. Verse 3, now is the end coming upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and I will recompense upon thee all thy abomination. In verse 5, thou said the Lord, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is coming, right? We get again, Ezekiel 7, verse 5, thou said the Lord, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is coming. Verse 6, an end is coming. The end is coming, and watch for thee, behold, it is coming. It said, watch for thee, it is coming. We get again, Ezekiel 7, verse 6, it said, an end is coming. The end is coming, and watch for thee, behold, it is coming. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14, they have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready. But now go to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitudes thereof. Right, all the multitudes thereof. Verse 15, the sword is without. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14, they have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready. But none go to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitudes thereof. Ezekiel 7, verse 21. 7, verse 25. Yeah. Destruction is coming, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Right? Destruction is coming, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Verse 26. Mistress shall come upon mistress, and rumor shall be upon rumor. They shall seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest and counsel from the ancient. The king shall mourn, the princes shall be clothed with desolate, and the hand of the people of the land shall be troubled. And I will do unto them after the ways and according to thy desire. And I will judge them, and they should know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Bashim Shah, man. Ezekiel 7, verse 25 again. Destruction is coming, and they shall see peace, and there shall be none. Mistress shall come upon mistress, and rumor shall be upon rumor. They shall seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and the counsel from the ancient. Right. Let's go back to Matthew 24, verse 3. And he sat upon the Mount Olives, and the disciples came unto him proudly and said, tell us, what should those things be, and what should be the signs of thy coming, and the end of the world, right? End of the world. But yet again, Matthew 24, verse 3, and he sat upon the Mount Olives, and the disciples came unto him proudly and said, tell us, what should those things be, and what should be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world. Let's go verse 14. Verse 13. But he that shall do it to the end, some shall be saved. Right there, some shall do it to the end. Like 24, verse 21. For there shall be great tribulation, so was not seen the beginning of this world to this time, nor ever shall be. Right? It says it's gonna be great tribulation, man. It said what sure was not seen, man. Dang, so, man. Matthew 24, verse 21, for there should be great tribulation, sure was not seen, the beginning of this world to this time, nor ever shall be. Verse 22, and except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? For the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. Matthew 24, verse 42, he said, be ready for his coming. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come. Watch. Verse 42, verse 43, but know this, that if the good man of the house have known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be you also ready, for sure and Therefore be you also ready, for sure in an hour as you think not the Son of Man coming. Let's go to Luke 21. Luke 21, verse 9. I think this should be all. When you shall hear of wars and commotion, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Right. Verse 10, then said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquake should be divulged in places, and famine and pestilence, and the fearful sights and great signs should those be from heaven. Luke 21, verse 34. And take heed to yourself, like any time your heart be overcharged with surfing and drinking and care of this life, and so that they come upon you underwear, right? They come upon you underwear. Verse 35, for as a snare shall come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch you therefore, and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all those things should come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. Right? Watch therefore, and pray always. What else I got? I got a couple more scriptures. Revelation. It should be Revelation chapter 9. Or is it 9? Yeah, Revelation 22, verse 7. Behold, I come quick. Blessed is he that keep the sayings of this prophet, of this book. 10. Revelation 22, verse 10. He say unto me, fear not the sayings of this prophet, of this book, for the time is at hand. Right? For the time is at hand. Revelation 22, verse 10 again. And he say unto me, fear not the sayings of this book, this prophet. Read again, man. Revelation 22, verse 10. And he say unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophet of this book, for the time is at hand. Right? For the time is at hand. So that's it. I just want to get to see the title, discern the signs of the time, man. So I'm going to close it out, giving all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, by Shema Shah, double honor to the apostle, brothers and Jim, man. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.